Hi, this is Dr. Post, and I'm going over the review questions for the final exam review. And today this video we're going over questions 6 through 10. So just trying to adjust this so that you can see them. All right, so question 6, we have this rational equation. So if I have a fraction, what I would like to do is get rid of that fraction, and I can do that by multiplying both sides by this denominator, because now I can cancel that denominator and I get -6 equals, and I could distribute that 4. So I get 4v minus 8, and then I just solve like I would a regular equation. So I get 2 equals 4v divided by 4, so v is 1/2. Okay, so let's move to question number 7, which is multiplying imaginary numbers. So I'm going to FOIL this. So the first would be the 2 times 3. I would get 6. Then the outer would be 2 times -3i, which is -6i. The inner is -6i times 3, which is -18i. And then the last is -6i times -3i, which is a positive 18i squared. I can combine these two like terms to get 6 minus 24i. And then I squared is the same as -1 times 18 would give me a minus 18. 6 minus 18 gives me -12 minus 24i. And this is the format that they want. They want the real part first and then the imaginary part. So in question 8, they want us to do division with imaginary numbers, and there's a particular method to doing that. What you do is you look at the bottom and you're going to multiply the top and bottom by the conjugate of the bottom. So the conjugate just changes that sign in the middle. So 3 plus 6i. So I'm going to FOIL this. So 6 times 3 is 18. 6 times 6i is 36i. -2i times 3 is -6i. -2i times positive 6 is -12i squared. Then that's over this, which will be FOILed. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 6i is 18i. -6i times 3 is -18i. And -6i times 6i is -36i squared. All right, so we can combine these two middle terms here. So I get 18 plus 30i, and then I squared is -1 times -12 would be plus 12. So I'm going to be able to combine the 18 and the 12 in the next step. Here, these two terms drop out. 18i minus 18i is 0, so I'm left with 9. -36i squared is -1, so that'd be plus 36. So 18 plus 12 is 30, plus 30i, all over 45. And remember, they want a certain format like this. They want the real part and then the imaginary part. So we actually would split these into two fractions. So 30 over 45 plus 30 over 45i. These fractions reduce, and if you weren't sure, you could type it in your calculator as 30 ABC 45, and you would get 2/3 plus 2/3 I. And that is the answer. Okay, question 9, they want us to use the quadratic formula, and they're asking for the exact answer. So that means if the square root isn't a perfect root, we would leave numbers in that square root. So here my a is 2, my b is -3, my c is -7. So I get -b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a. So negative 3 will give me a positive 3. Inside here, I'm going to get negative 3 squared is 9. And then this is 4 times 2 is 8, times 7 is 56. A negative and a negative is a positive. And that's all over 4. 56 plus 9 is 45. So I get 3 plus or minus the square, I'm sorry, 65. Square root of 65 all over 4. And basically this is the answer. If you don't have a plus and minus symbol, then you'll have to write it out as two different things. 3 plus the square root of 65 over 4, comma 3 minus the square root of 65 over 4. But you do want to make sure that this is simplified. And how do I know if 65 is simplified? You can do a factor tree. So 65 splits into 5 and then 13. Those are both prime. So if you broke this into 5 times 13, there's nothing in there that's a perfect square. A perfect square would be a double of something, like a 5 times 5 would be 25, so that would come out as a single 5. But when you have prime numbers where there's nothing repeated, then you know that this is simplified as far as you can go. And they wanted the exact answer, so you're not going to put this in your calculator and get an approximated decimal for the square root of 65. You're going to leave it in this as a square root of 65. Now, question 10, they want you to round this answer. So here you will put that square root in the calculator and get a final rounding. So let's do that one. So A is 2, B is negative 3, C is negative 1. So we're going to do negative B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4 times A times C all over 2A. So that would be a positive 3 plus or minus square root 9 plus 8. Wait, did I write that down wrong? I think I wrote that down wrong. 4 times, hold on, B squared minus 4AC. I'm sorry, A is 9. I think I was looking at the other question. I apologize for that. So let me double check. Negative B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4 times A times C. So that's going to be 9 plus 36 all over 18. Yeah, that makes better sense. Okay, so we get 3 plus or minus the square root of 45 over 18. Is 45 simplified? Doesn't matter, because they are going to let us put this in our calculator and get decimals. So 3 plus the square root of 45 over 18 will give you 0.54, and 3 minus the square root of 45 over 18 gives you negative 0.21. So try that, and hopefully you'll get the same answer. Okay, see you next time.